it was just a bunch of roaches and stuff running around, little tiny roaches. And I don't know, y'all, this really should have been a red flag. Y'all are probably like, girl, like, what is you doing? But anyways, you don't keep my line no more. Oh, oh, you don't make it ring, 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 ring. Good morning, y'all. So it's Vlogmas day 2. Yay. But anyways, today I really don't got nothing planned. I'm probably gonna lounge around this house because listen, ever since Babe left, I just feel tired. I feel so tired. I feel like I've been going nonstop. It's 12 o'clock now, and this is the latest I've woke up since he left because I just don't get no sleep. Mind you, I went to bed at 4, and mind you, I was also up at 9 o'clock. So even though I'm up now at 12, I've been up several times in between just because of this little girl right here. But anyway, so today, like I said, I don't really got anything much planned. But anyways, I decided to not bore you guys with my cleaning story. And I'm gonna actually share a story with you guys about the time I was in New York, where I tried to live in New York, and I had the absolute craziest landlord. Like, that was straight up from hell. The landlord from hell. That's what I'm gonna name this vlog, the landlord from hell. But anyways, yeah, so I had a crazy landlord in New York, and it was just a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. So I'm just gonna tell you guys that story time. But before I jump into this story time, if you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Do make sure you turn on that notification bell as well, because for the month of December, it's going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy good time. We're gonna be enjoying the holidays together like one big happy family. I'm gonna be uploading every single day up until Christmas, and on some days I'm gonna have 2 videos go up because I had a bunch of videos in between that I also need to get up by the end of the year. So that being said, honey, pull up a chair and enjoy this tea. Boom. All right, y'all, so we're gonna be working at the same time because I need to get this stuff done. All right, so I'm just gonna dump out all these clothes. Okay, so about 2 years ago, I decided I wanted to, I wanted a fresh start. I was kind of pretty much having like a mental breakdown, and I'll probably do a whole story time about that time, honey, because that was no fun times either. But anyways, yeah, so I was going through a lot of shit, and I decided, okay, I just need to get up out of here, and I need to start fresh somewhere far, far, far away. Before that, I was living in Florida, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to New York. Okay, y'all, so back to the story. So I decided to move to New York and, pretty much just figure it out. Not gonna lie, I didn't really have a plan or anything. All I knew was I was gonna go stay with a friend, and in my mind, I was gonna stay with her for about a month, because after that month, I should have enough money to, get my own place and all that good stuff. Thinking you got shit figured out. But anyways, needless to say, things didn't necessarily work out like that, y'all. New York chewed me up and spit me out like an old ass gum. Like, listen, like, New York did me dirty. Anyways, so I'm in New York pretty much struggling and shit. My little plan that I had is not working out by any means. I ended up being at my friend's for, I think, at least 2 months. And then after that, I went to stay with my cousin in Harlem for about another extra month. And no, I stayed with her for another, probably this whole time, I've been apartment hunting and talking to people and trying to get things going. I don't know what the idea was that I had of New York, and I knew it was expensive, but I just never thought it was as expensive as it was. Y'all, why I couldn't find anything under $1,000, and I'm talking about even a basement or stuff like that. So I have found something pretty decent, but I had a dilemma because at this point, Deontay and I had decided to, take it steady and really, really, really put in effort to see where everything's gonna go. And if y'all didn't know, Deontay lived in South Carolina at the time. So we were kind of doing a long distance thing, talking on the phone all the time. And then he decided, you know, he's gonna move to New York and figure it out with your girl. So he moved to New York too, and then we were both there, and I was trying to get an apartment where we could both live together. But boy, everywhere that I was finding that was fairly reasonable in price, they were like, oh, only for one person, because if it's two, it's like they pretty much want to rent you like a whole big ass space, and they want you to pay like $2,000. Y'all probably don't know this, but I'm the type of person, like, I'm quick to start thinking that I'm being a burden to people. And I don't know. I feel like if I'm in your space for too long, I start thinking maybe they're tired of me now. You know, like maybe they just want their own space. You know, like when you used to having your own space, having somebody come visit is cool for the first like couple weeks. Shit, probably even the first month. But after a couple months, you're like, boo, what are you doing? Moving in? Like, if so, you need to pay rent, because, you know, like, it gets like that. So I was just like, dang, like, I feel like I'm being very, like, invasive. I need to get my own spot. My cousin was actually planning a trip to go to Jamaica, and she didn't want to leave me at the apartment by myself because she didn't want me and Deontay at the apartment. So it was just like, damn, like, so I really got a deadline because her ticket is booked and everything, and she's leaving on this day. And when she leaves, she needs her key and she's locking her doors. So even if she was gonna like let me come back, when she came back, she was gonna be gone for like 2 weeks. Where was I gonna stay for 2 whole weeks? And I wasn't trying to backtrack and go back to my friends after I left her place. It was like, okay, you know, yeah, like, thanks for letting me stay here, you know, did the whole goodbyes and everything. Like, I'm not trying to come back and be like, hey girl, like, can I come back? So I was like really, 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 really desperate. All right, so in my moment of desperation, I found this place on, I think it was Let Go. I found something, it was listed at like $600, y'all. And I was like, oh my God, $600? Bet, like, bet. And I called the person, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm interested. What do I need to do? And he was like really anxious too. He was like talking back, and he was like, you know, like showing me good vibes. And he was like saying, yeah, the place is really nice, blah, 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 blah. It's in Harlem, not too far from my cousin, actually. So I was like, yes. And at the same time, it was closer to where Deontay was staying. So it's like right in between where Deontay was staying and where my cousin lived. So I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is legit perfect. So I'm like super excited now. I'm like, yes, I found me a place finally. When to go? Well, first, of course, I told Deontay, I'm like, yo, I might have just found a place. I was saving up, so I did have enough money to pay at least my first 2 months rent. And Deontay did help me out too. So, you know, I came up with most of the money, and then I was like, can you give me the rest of the money so I can, you know, get this place going? Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Anyways, yes, so I went to meet up with the guy. On the day that I went to meet up with the guy, Deontay was actually out of town. He was doing a photo shoot in South Carolina with his friend, and I was like dolo, but I had to, like I said, like, time was winding down. Like, time was a luxury. I didn't have time to sit and wait for him to come meet the guy with me, which that was the initial plan, because, you know, I feel like when guys see other guys, like, they kind of treat you differently. When they see you as a female, just pull up, it's not disrespectful, but they just treat you a different way, if you know what I mean. So for one, the guy was kind of a little bit being like flirty, and I was just like, bruh, like, I'm not here for that. I'm here for this place. Like, what's going on with the place? I don't got no time for that. I wasn't really feeling that. And then the next thing that happened that really, I guess, should have been a red flag to me is when I went to see that place, y'all, why was this place a living dump? Like, a dump. I'm not exaggerating and being like, you know, when somewhere is just a little bit untidy and you can tell that, you know, it just needs to be cleaned up, but it's regularly maintained. Nah, that shit looked like a dump. And it was crazy to me because he told me that somebody else was living there too, so I was gonna have a roommate. So I'm like looking at it like, who lives here? Like, who lives here? This shit is a dump. Like, dumb to the point where in the kitchen, like when you step in the kitchen, it was just a bunch of roaches and stuff running around, little tiny roaches. And I don't know, y'all, this really should have been a red flag. Y'all are probably like, girl, like, what is you doing? But anyways, any sane person would have been like, okay, nah, I'm good, you know. Especially, I mean, I was paying decent money. I feel like for $600, I should at least be able to get somewhere that's livable. You know, livable conditions, no roaches, like nothing crazy, like, I don't know. I guess that was too much to ask for Miss New York. So I was looking around and I was kind of like disgusted, low key. Like, I did not want to touch anything. Everything was gross. The bathroom was the same. Like, looked like it has never been cleaned in months. And I was just like, yo, like, people take regular showers and use the bathroom here. This is like unbelievable. So, you know, of course, like, he kind of saw that I was disgusted with the place. So he was trying to reassure me, and he was like, oh no, you know, of course, before you move in, I'm gonna have everything cleaned up. Okay, yeah, so he was talking a really good game. He was like, you know, I have a guy, I already talked to him, and if you're serious, once you pay the money, I'm gonna go ahead and pay him. He's gonna come in, he's gonna clean down the whole place. And there was also an issue with the room that I was gonna have. Like, there was literally no locks on the door. So, you know, where you can see like the hole where the lock is supposed to be? Yeah, that hole was completely empty. Like, you could look through the hole. Like, there was no lock or anything. So I was like, yeah, so I'm gonna need a lock on my door, because for one, the roommate that I had is also a male. And I mean, I'm just not trying to live with nobody like that. At the time where I was working at, I used to have like good quantities of cash on me, like almost every day, and I only went to the bank once a week, and I keep my stuff like just laying around. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need something that I can lock up, because I have things of value in here. Also, I have my camera equipment and stuff like that, and I spent a good bit of money on my camera stuff as well. So I'm like, you know, anyways, he was like, yes, for sure, gonna get the lock, and you're gonna have somebody like come clean down the whole place. It's gonna be a-okay by the time you come. This was about 3 weeks before the actual day that I needed to move in. So homie had ample time, like ample time. Okay, so my dumb ass was just like, I don't know, I felt like it was such a good price, and I was just so desperate, and I wasn't finding anywhere else even close to that price point, that I just went ahead and I was like, okay, you know what, I don't like it, but sure, I'm gonna let you know that I'm serious. So here's my money, hold on to this. And I didn't just pay him for 1 month, I paid him for 2 months, like a little dumbass. So anyways, I gave him all that money, and of course he was so excited, so excited. Mind you, the place that we was living at, like, I could tell that I'm like, I wasn't born and raised in New York, but I could tell it was the projects. And like, it just, I could also tell that my landlord was a drug dealer. So it's like, we're walking, and like, people keep stopping him. You know that drug dealer vibe, where everybody knows him. It's like, hey homie, what's going on? You know, like, what's going on? And you know, you can see the little exchange, and people's come pulling up and asking him if he got shit, and he's like, nah, not right now, you know, I got you in a few. And you know, like, it's really sus to the point where I'm just like, is this gonna be a problem? Like, is this gonna be a problem? And also, there was so many red flags. I really feel mad at myself now that I'm telling the story. But anyways, he actually lived in the other side of the projects as well. So he literally lived really, really, really close. But apparently this apartment was his old apartment, where him and his parents grew up and everything. So it wasn't even his apartment, it was his mom's apartment. But he said his mom moved away. She lived in some other state now, like PA or something, like Pennsylvania. And that she gave him the okay to rent it out. Anyways, after I gave him the money and all that, and then, you know, Deontay came back, and I started telling him about it. I was like, hey, so I got a place, blah, 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 blah. And then he was asking me about it, and Deontay's aunt works with the city, so she knows a lot about, like, the housing stuff and everything. And she was the one who was, like, asking a lot of questions, and she was like, where are those apartments located, blah, 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 blah. Then when I told her, she was like, oh, no, boo. those are the projects. And it's against the law to rent them out, to sublease. So homie's like straight up breaking the law. I'm living there illegally at this point because he already gave me a key and I already paid him my money. And he's a drug dealer. I'm sure at that point, like, I can't pull up to him and be like, hey, you know what? I changed my mind. Can I have my $1,200 back? Like, he's going to for sure be like, nah, boo. Like, he probably already spent it. Like, he probably already had spent my money. So I was just like, instantly just like, oh my God, I feel so dumb, but it's cool. At least I got a roof over my head and I don't have to worry about where I'm gonna be sleeping. I'll figure it out. I'll probably just stay here for a couple months and then save up my money and move somewhere else, you know, within like 6 months or so, because it wasn't really a lease. He wasn't even trying to write me a lease, y'all. Like, when at least thank God I had that much sense, because he wasn't even trying to write me a lease. So when I gave him my money and everything, he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna give you the key, blah 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 blah. So I was like, hey, I know you said like you can't like technically give me a lease because it's not your apartment, it's his mom's, but can you put something in writing? Can I draw up something that says that, you know, you're permitting me to live here and that I'm paying you X amount from this day to that day? And he was such a dumbass. He signed it. So, I mean, I kind of had something. It wasn't a full lease, but his signature was on that bitch that said that I'm paying him to live here for a period of time. And it said how much money I paid him. So, that was good on my part. So, anyways, I was just like, you know, at least I have somewhere to go. I sort of felt relieved still. And I was like, you know what? I've been in worse situations and I can make it work. I can work with anything. I'm a very chill person who really doesn't get too bothered about anything much. So I just went over. I was just, you know, like just counting down the days. I had went over there one day with Deontay as well because I had the key. So I went over with Deontay one day and y'all, he straight up pretty much like roasted me. He was like, you paid for this? Like, why are you gonna live here? No, I'm not staying here with you. And I'm like, yo, like, you're gonna have me stay here by myself? And he was like, yeah, like, nobody told you to get this. He was like, y'all, you should have waited until I got here to see it too. And he was like, no, this isn't a good area. And like, he was just having so much to say. I'm like, boo, we wasn't finding nowhere else. Like, what did you want me to do? What did you want me to do? You don't understand this. Like, where he was at, he wasn't comfortable, but he wasn't getting the boot. So even though he wasn't comfortable, he was cool to stay there until he found somewhere. Me, on the other hand, my cousin is leaving, so I have to find somewhere like now. So I'm like, honey, like, I don't have that luxury to pick and choose. Like, I'll clean the place up myself. So that's pretty much what ended up happening, because needless to say, on move-in day when we got there, the whole place was still junk. It was exactly like how it was 3 weeks ago when homie said that he was gonna get it cleaned up. Nope, that story was a whole hoax. Like, there was nobody that he was paying to clean up nothing. Like, he straight up just took that whole entire money and I guess got him a new like stash of drugs or whatever to sell. But that was that. I like nothing. There wasn't even a lock on my door. So when I moved in the first day, y'all, I had to spend so much money going to this, I think it was a Walgreens that was like right down the road. And I bought a bunch of cleaning supplies and I had to buy me a blow up bed because by this point I was broke. So I bought me a blow up bed and, you know, sheets, blankets and stuff, and cleaning stuff, gloves. And what else did I buy? I bought a lock. So I'm in this bitch that I paid for, mind you, and I'm having to clean it down, and I'm trying my hardest. I cleaned that bathroom down though. I bought bathroom mats, shower curtain, like everything. Like, when I tell you there was nothing there before, there was nothing. So I bought all that stuff and made it pretty much workable. I cleaned down my room. I had to sweep that bitch like 4 or 5 times and mopped it like 4 or 5 times because it was so dusty. There was cobwebs everywhere. There was cobwebs. And the roommate's room was no cleaner either. And he was just, I guess, cool with his situation. So he was just like living in it. And I'm like, you do you, boo. But yeah, like it was just like really gross, and it took all day to do that. Thankfully though, even though Deontay didn't like the place and he already said he wasn't staying there with me, he at least stayed and helped me clean up and all that good stuff. So I appreciate that, you know. But yeah, so we was there and we cleaned up the whole place, and that first day was just so tedious and tiring that I ended up like not even staying there that night, just because I don't know, it was just still so dusty and I wasn't feeling really well because I am asthmatic. So why the following day when I went over there, y'all, I, you know, open up the locks, get in, and go into my room, and my room is empty. Like, empty. Like, the only thing in there is the floors and the ceiling. I was like, what? Like, I just bought a bunch of stuff. Like, where's my stuff? I was pissed. No, I'm lying. I didn't go over there for about 2 days. So when I went back over there, like on the third day after that, like the room was empty. So I was like, yo, where's my stuff? So the roommate was home. I could hear him while he was watching TV. And y'all, I just barged right into his room because I was tight. I was like, yo, where's my stuff? If it's one thing, I'm really cool. Because even the day that I moved in, you know, I shook this dude's hand and I told him, you know, yeah, we're cool. If you need anything, let me know. Blah, 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 blah. And I went out because we had, we was there that whole time that day. I ended up buying, like, not really groceries, but I bought a couple stuff that we were munching on while we were there. I bought juice and stuff. And I told homie, I was like, you know, if you need anything, let me know, blah, 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 blah. My name is such. I gave him my phone number. So, yeah, when I realized that, yo, y'all are messing with my stuff. I don't like people messing with my stuff, especially people I don't know. Like, I'm cool, but I'm not that cool. So, I was, like, really pissed off, and I busted open his room door, and I'm like, yo, what's good? Yo, when he saw me, it was like he saw a ghost. He was so, like, you could tell he got caught doing something. Like, he was like, oh, shit. And he's, like, hopping up right quick. Why is he laying on my blow-up bed? Like, first of all, he already got a bed. And he put my blow-up bed on top of his bed like he wanted to be extra lifted or something. And he got a shorty on my bed. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Like, at that point, I deadass felt like I was about to fight. I was so tight. I was done. And I had to call Deontay. I was like, yo, like, why is this dude laying up on my bed with some shorty that I just had to spend so much money. This place is, like, already costing me a fortune. And then they're messing with my stuff. Like, I'm trying to tolerate and be cool about everything, but they're messing with my stuff. And that's my bed. That's where I put my body on. Like, why would you be laying on my stuff? So, you know, like, I just walked out because I was just like, yo, I am, like, over this. I'm like, you know what? Walk away. And Deontay was like, yo, don't do nothing. I'm on my way. Because he knew the situation was about to get ugly. You feel me? Because I don't play those games at all. Period. Pooh. So he was like on his way over there. And I hit up that landlord. Because homie ran out the room. I don't know what he was doing. But he threw on some clothes or whatever. And then he ran out the room. And he was like, yo, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I just want to let you know it wasn't my intention to touch your stuff. And I'm like, so why did you do it? Wasn't your intention then? Why'd you do it, boo? Why'd you do it? Anyways, he was like trying to tell me that because I didn't come back for them 2 days, the landlord was saying, like, he didn't know if I was coming back. I don't know if because when I went over there, the place was a dump and I was pissed off that he thought I wasn't gonna come back. Or, I don't know, he must have thought I was a junkie or something, because I guess why else would I pay to live in that dump? Because why would I pay you $1,200, spend money, clean up the place, buy a bed, and not come back? That shit don't make no type of sense. So miss me with that shit, boo. I was so tight. I was like, that don't make no sense. What are you talking about? He told you I wasn't coming back. First of all, I gave you my phone number. So if you thought that I wasn't coming back, you should have called me. That's what you should have did. You should have hit me up, sent me a text, be like, hey, yo, so what's going on with this situation? Homie is here saying that you're not coming back, but you left all the stuff over here. Are you going to come back and get it? Or is it cool if I take it? That would have been the respectable thing to do. But no, he just went ahead and helped himself to my stuff. I'm just like, yo, like I have stuff in here. I don't know, like, if they was, like, in there, what they was in there doing. I'm like, listen, like, I pay to share this space, yes, but where I don't pay to share is my personal bedroom. Like, I pay for this space. This space is what I'm paying $600 a month for. This space is mine. Like, I don't want nobody walking past the door unless I say, yo, come in. I'm paying for this space. Like, don't be in my space. Like, I'm cool and I'm a female, but don't get it twisted because I will mace you. Don't play with me. So I was like, I wasn't trying to hear nothing. I was just like, save your energy, boo, because I don't want to hear it. So at that point, that dude went on from my right side to my all the way left. Like, he was as far left as like out the frame. Like, I was just not checking for him no more. I didn't want to hear nothing about him. Like, at the time, Deontay used to smoke with him and shit too. I was like, don't even be smoking with him. I don't want to see you talking to him. Like, nothing. When you come over here, you come over here to me, period. I don't want you talking to this bum ass dude like that be sleeping on my shit, like, you know. So I was like, like, he got cut off. And then, so from then on, like, that was kind of an awkward situation because, like, I was still living there. And he kept trying to talk to me that whole time I was there, y'all. Because I guess he felt bad. And he kept trying to, like, be friends with me again or whatever. But I was just, like, over it. Like, once you do something to me, like I'm not, like, holding you up. But I remember it. And I'm just, like, I just keep my distance. I don't have time for it. I wasn't trying to make best friends with the dude anyways. But I was at least trying to be cool with him. But that kind of showed me that I couldn't be cool with him. He even drank my juice. Like, he drank my juice and ate my food that I was already eating. Like, straight up bum shit. Like, who eats somebody's food that they just met that they was already eating? Gross. I should have had some shit, gave it to him. Like, that's gross as hell. So, yeah, so I was just, like, over it. Like, ugh. I ain't even been here a whole week already. I had to disinfect down that whole plastic ass bed and get new sheets and everything, costing me more money again. And it was just tedious for, like, the fact that I just barely even moved in there. I hadn't even spent my first official night yet. So at this point, I'm like, you know what, I'm moving in. I called the landlord, and of course I gave him my words. I was like, yo, what's going on? I don't like people messing with my stuff, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I was cussing him out. I was like, yo, he said that you told him I wasn't coming back. He was like, what? No, like, I never said that, blah, 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 blah. So it was just a bunch of, like, drama already. Like, he was, like, saying that he didn't say that, and the roommate was like, yes he did, he's on some funny shit, like, that's what he did. He came over here, he was hanging out with me and smoking, and he was talking about how you're not coming back and that I should just take whatever because he's gonna sell the rest. And I'm like, oh, word? He's gonna sell the rest? Really? Interesting. That would have been very interesting. So yeah, I was just like, oh my God. So these two dudes are like blowing mine. And then what was trippy was that the roommate was really trying so hard to, like, make it seem like he didn't like the landlord. He was always talking trash about him. Like, every time we was there, he especially wanted to get buddy with Deontay. I was just like, oh, this is like some high school ass shit, like just being back and forth. But yeah, so the dude was trying to get, like, really close to Deontay. Like, every time he saw him, he was just like, yo, what's good, blah, 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 blah. And for some reason, I feel like he was always trying to ask me questions, like, trying to find out, like, where he's at, like, and just everything. And I used to be like, I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me nothing. So yeah, and Deontay was still obliging this dude because when he come over there, like, I don't know if he was trying to be nice, but he was still, like, answering the dude's questions and talking to him and stuff. I'm like, I said don't talk to him. Don't talk to him, period. Like, I don't pay him no rent. You're not obligated to speak to him. Don't speak to him, period. But for some reason that was hard to understand, so he was still talking to him. Yeah, so he was still trying to have conversations with him and be cordial, but I was over it. But anyways, so this is where stuff really got really messed up now. So I start realizing that, okay, wait, there's something really sketchy about this landlord and this roommate. So for one, it looked like the roommate wasn't paying no type of rent. Like, he looked like the type of dude that, like, he know the dude, and he was involved in criminal activity as well. Like, he used to work at this club, and he stole like bottles and was like bringing them and like selling them for the low to like people. So eventually he got busted on that and got fired, and the cops showed up at our apartment looking for him. Like, that shit was crazy. And then of course the landlord showed up trying to talk shit like about him, and I'm like, don't do that, because that's your buddy. Y'all be up here like 2 o'clock in the night, because that's the other thing that was like driving me up the wall. This landlord was like no landlord. He was like trying to be friends with us, and I'm like, yo, I am not into that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like an old person living in a frat house, because he was showing up all types of nights. Like, he was coming at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and him and homie are like smoking and kikiing, and they got girls over, and I'm like, yo, like, can you not go get a room? That shit is $50 a night. Go get a room. Like, I pay rent to live here. I don't want to be here at 2 o'clock in the morning hearing nobody. Nobody. That's inconsiderate. Like, what are you doing? Especially if I'm not up. Like, if I'm up in my room and you can hear me playing music and you can tell I'm vibing and you just in your own space vibing as well, cool. But if you hear it's mad quiet in my room, the lights are off, chances are, boo, I'm trying to sleep. You would think. But no, like, they just was straight up disrespectful. And this is what happened, like at least 4 days out of the week. They was having company over. They was being mad loud. They was playing music as loud as they possibly could. It was like a strip club in my house. And, well, not my house, but you know what I'm saying. It was like a club, like a straight up club. And I was just like so annoyed. Like, it was so annoying. And then the homie's little visitors was always trying to speak to me. It was always like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, nothing. Leave me alone. So it was just like getting really, 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 like, tension was building up and building up and building up and building up. And then this is where it really, 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 really got even more weird.